it is now more than ever important to have a device that's secure, applications that are secure, if we're working in the enterprise. And with me to talk about that is from OpenPeak, David Barclay, who is the Executive Vice President of Strategy and Business Development. Of course, their focus is on devices in the enterprise and application security. So tell me, David, if you would, what's the challenge right now? Is it BYOD? Is it new applications? I mean, where's your focus?
Yeah, BYOD is definitely a challenge, and I think a catalyst for what's going on in the industry. But ultimately, to IT, they have a security challenge. People are accessing more and more of their corporate data from a range of mobile devices, and people are picky about how they do it, when they do it, what device they want to do. So whether it's BYOD or not, enterprise needs to figure out how to secure their data on all these mobile devices. So that's really our goal, to make it very easy on IT to have application level security on any mobile device.
So let's take the BYOD crowd. Because that's becoming increasingly popular, right, amongst employees. They want to use the device of their choice. What challenges does that present you, or present your clients, in terms of kind of keeping that separation between personal and professional?
Well, that's exactly it. Because with the old way to do it was MDM, where you lock down the entire device. And that's okay in terms of security, but it's really not very friendly to the end user, especially on the personal device, where you don't want your company to be tracking you. Right. You don't want your company to accidentally delete your personal pictures.
Oh, there goes those birthday pictures, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's really the trend is towards this separation of business versus personal data. So it really gives IT even better security than it have otherwise, and the individual gets a better user experience.
Application security. Pretty broad topic.
Sure.
But in terms of intrusions, in terms of malware, in terms of keeping them secure, from those kinds of invasions, how much more work do you have to do maybe today, or concern do you have today, that you might have had a year or 2 years ago?
I guess that there's certainly more people using mobile devices. I'm not sure if there's more or less malware on the public app stores, but our goal is to make it as simple as possible for IT to not worry about that. So we have our environment, and we make sure we're very close about what we allow into that space.
So when you say app security, then, how would you define that?
Yeah, so us, it's about taking any application, whether it's an internally developed or a native app, and making it very easy to add our security framework around that. So it's less about doing antivirus, things like that, because we basically have a trusted environment, so we can control what we allow into that world. And we do that in a way that the enterprise doesn't have to do any work. So some other solutions will ask the application developer to rebuild their app with an SDK to add in the security features.
Mm-hmm.
The way we do it is via this automatic wrapping process, where we basically can inject our SDK into that application. So it makes it very easy to add in all of our framework around any app. We take the fully compiled binary and return another fully compiled binary with all of our technology linked right into it. And that allows us to do things like have a PIN, have on-device encryption, have VPN for data in transit. All those kinds of security features get added right over the top.
How much or how far have we come in terms of security? Maybe the past 2-3 years to where we are today? What kind of advances have there been made? And then what do you think is the next generation? What has to be done in order to take the game up another notch?
So in terms of where it's going, I think it's all about having, these are all app platforms, right? So it's really a pane of glass, whether it's Android, iOS, users are launching apps. So it really is about how you can work with as many apps as possible. And that's why this workspace approach, we think, is the way forward. Mm-hmm. But you need to do it in a way to work with any apps, right? So it's one thing to, we seed it with our apps, with a PIM for email, with a browser. Mm-hmm. Enterprises can add in their own internal apps, but the missing ingredient, I think really the way this industry is going to be going, is about having an ecosystem of secure third-party apps. So at OpenPeak, we have a thing we call the sector network, which basically we go out to ISVs that we've announced with Box, with SplashTop, with Big Tin Can, and more on the way, and get them to pre-secure their application, so the enterprise can automatically pull it into this workspace. So you basically have this environment with all sorts of different content all locked down.
So already certified, right? You already know, it's guaranteed.
It's stamp of approval.
We're okay with this, and so you can go ahead and you can launch it and provide IT professionals with that kind of security, which I assume these days their awareness is way up, right? It's really high on their radar that in order to bring the mobile workforce all of the capabilities you want, you got to have a high barrier.
Absolutely.
Right, good. Well, thank you for being with us. Certainly appreciate the time.
Yeah, no worries.
David Barclay.